Of the panels after they're up, so you can easily identify where your screws are.
So I know it's not much to look at, but believe it or not, this plywood's gonna play a part in the overall design. I'm actually gonna stain it with this ebony stain, which is like almost black. I think it's gonna give a good backdrop for the wood slices to pop off of.
Something doesn't look quite right. All right, there we go. That's more like it.
Oh, that is a strong smell. Woo, yes, definitely ventilate. I am going to get cooled off, clean off my face, and then we're gonna hop in the car and go look for some logs. So when the log gets this small, I really don't want my hand any closer to the blade, so I'm just gonna toss it at this point and move on to the next log. I've got plenty of logs, not worth the risk.
So the bulk of the lumber I used was this cedar, but I also found some smaller branches in the backyard just to use as filler and keep some variety on the wall. So it's important to know the cutting capacity of your miter saw. This 10-inch saw for me has a 3.5-inch crosscut capacity, so that's the maximum diameter log I can cut with this saw. If you want bigger slices than that, you're gonna have to use a chainsaw.
Maybe next time.
So in order for the design to work well, you really need these slices to have a smooth edge. I kind of assumed the bark would come off easily once it was sliced, and some of it did, but a lot of it didn't. You can sand it by hand, but it is a lot of work. Something I found that made it a little bit easier was shucking off some of the bigger pieces before I made the cuts.
Just like shucking corn. Sorry, it's hot out there. So, I think I've made enough wood slices. I kind of want to start getting them on the wall though and make sure, because I don't want to cut any more than I have to. So we've used nail guns pretty heavily so far in this series. Today I want to try something a little different. I picked up some of this Power Grab by Loctite. You'll get a kick out of this. The selling point that really grabbed me was the set time. No less than 0 seconds. I figured you can't really do a whole lot better than that, so it's worth a shot. We're just gonna use a regular old caulk gun and put a little bit on the back of each little wood slice. I don't think it's gonna take much. These things are so light, they're really not gonna need much to hold them on the wall. All right, so let's test this whole 0-second grab thing. So we'll just do a little bit on the back and just press it on. I think it's on there. Cool, I'm gonna get cooking.
There's no real right or wrong way to get this pattern up there. I was using about a 4-to-1 ratio of larger to smaller pieces, but that's really up to you. This takes some time, but it's a pretty mindless task, so you can put on some music or a podcast and it'll be done before you know it.
Wow. So, pretty tedious. Probably the most tedious project we've done so far. But wow, look at the results. It looks pretty amazing. I imagine a lot of you guys would probably say, stop right here. I like the natural look. Maybe I'll throw some poly on there, but this is good. And you can definitely do that. You can stop the video right now, go and do this project. But I've just had in my head that this thing needs to have more of a mosaic feel. So I'm actually gonna try putting some paint on here. And I have picked out a couple different colors. And I tell you, I had a hard time at first because picking one color is one thing, but picking 3 or 4 colors that work together is no joke. You just don't know what kind of contradicting undertones are in there and what's really gonna look good once you get it on the wall. But that's when I saw these little color collection things from Sherwin-Williams. So they've curated all these colors together, and they're basically saying any combination of these colors is gonna work. So here's the 4 colors I picked, and I can't wait to see what it looks like on the wall. Should we get painting? So I'm finding that this little foam brush actually does a really good job of painting a sharp edge on these things. I'm also using Sherwin-Williams Infinity line, which is a 1-coat paint and primer mix, because I don't really want to paint these things more than once. How's it going? It's going. I'm excited. I think it's gonna look pretty cool. Are you guys ready to see it? Here comes the instant gratification. There it is. What do you think? Did I win you over with the painted design, or would you have stopped at the raw wood? There's a lot of other cool color combinations you could do. I think trying different tones of the same color would be really cool. And even monochromatic could look cool here too. So I know this one looks ambitious, and you would want to give yourself a couple days to get it done, but I still think this one is doable for the average DIYer. The two things you would definitely need is a miter saw and a ton of patience, but beyond that you don't really need any crazy skills to get it done. I will say, if you decide to do this one, the hardest step for me was the sanding step, believe it or not. I'm not sure if it was the cedar I used, if you could find a smoother wood or a wood that's dried out a little more where the bark pops off a little easier. If you could get your hands on some kind of a benchtop sander or a belt sander, I think that would speed up that step too. Getting them on the wall wasn't that difficult. That power grab stuff actually worked great. I made quick work of that. The painting was a little tedious, but that part was more gratifying, so it was a little easier to stay motivated. So leave me a comment, let me know what you thought, let me know what you would do different. I love hearing all the creative spin-offs you guys are having after watching these. To that point, I had a thought. What if a few of you guys actually went and did some of these projects, or at least a similar project inspired by one of the 5 we've done so far? Record it, doesn't have to be crazy, just a walkthrough with your cell phone, a slideshow with voiceover, or if you want to do a full-scale how-to, but record it, upload it, and then post a link on one of these videos. And if I get a few of you guys to do it, I'd love to curate those into a playlist. It's a way to get a little extra exposure for your project, and the rest of our subscriber base can see your video, can interact with it, and we just build some community around these projects. And then, so you can feel really fancy, I made this seal. This one. I made this seal that you can put on your thumbnail so you'll look really official. Your friends will think you won Sundance or something. Alright, get cracking. I want to see those videos. And as always, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day.